a company called OpenAI, which was not only co-founded by Elon Musk, but was invested by Microsoft, I believe, put in $1 billion into the company, released effectively a next generation AI chatbot, which kind of speaks to you, can understand normal language and can speak to you in normal language, right? We'll spit back out a regular sort of dialogue with you.
Yeah.
Was released at the end of November and within a few days reached 1 million users, and the internet blew up with people posting what they've been talking to ChatGPT about. They've been writing scripts, they've been writing legal briefs, they've been doing all sorts of very interesting stuff. And now people are wondering, is this going to come for me at the law firm? Is ChatGPT going to replace me, going to replace my associates? Some people are saying not so fast, not so fast. It's not as brilliant as you think it is, but there are questions, right?
Absolutely. Like in its present state, is it going to replace the job of a lawyer? No. But you're seeing a window into the future. You're seeing what could be, and I think you're starting to already see some of this with like doc generation companies. There are plenty of companies that are coming out that are using AI to create these contracts for you, maybe through prompted questions or through some other means like that. So you're already seeing in practice, but this is like, oh my gosh, this is really coming for me now. If I was an attorney, yes, I would be a little worried, right? You're like, oh my gosh, like maybe I'm a transactional attorney and I make my money drafting these agreements, but also I'm negotiating these agreements, right?
Right.
I understand the risk tolerances of my client, and I know when to give on some things and when not. So there's always a human element when it comes to negotiating some of these agreements, but it's definitely interesting. It's definitely.
And kind of like what you're saying is, you're kind of touching on the creative aspect here, which is, I'm not a lawyer, I'm a writer, right? And I know that, like, yes, there are some things that I write that are very kind of templative, very kind of cut and paste, and there are in the legal world as well. But like you're saying, in negotiations and more creative thinking capacities, chatbots are nowhere near, human beings. And also, OpenAI openly says this on their website. They will say this kind of to your face, that the chatbot still makes plenty of mistakes, still tells you plenty of false information, and if you're a lawyer and you regurgitate that, that's malpractice.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if somebody is like, I'm just going to rely on this, I'm fine with it, and creates like, a legal brief or a motion of some kind, files it with the court, and the court's like, what is this? This is not real.
But there must be certain things within the legal community that are, again, very just boilerplate, that you can just
100%.
plug and play. And
when you're a litigator and you're doing a motion to compel production of documents, it's a very basic discovery motion.
Right.
You are most of the time copying and pasting a form, right? Or there's always these templates, or even certain agreements, right? Like I know in certain spaces, like an asset purchase agreement or a purchase and sale agreement, it's very, very, very boilerplate, very similar across the board.
Which again might save you some time, might save your paralegals some time, etc. But it's not replacing, the next generation of law school grads, right?
No. So, that's a fair point. If you were in law school, rest assured, you've still got at least a couple years. You're almost there, but you got a couple years.
You're almost right. Which, when you really kind of like poke under the hood of what ChatGPT is, it's a predictive text.
Yes.
So it's going through all the data of what's been fed to it and is predicting, based on that, what's been said before and kind of what it believes should be said next. So, like we just been mentioning, that's not really creative. That's, kind of applies to plug and play, but that's about it.
Exactly right. But again, it'll be very interesting to see in the future. I personally, as a litigator, would love it, right? Or as a former litigator, I would love to use something like this if it can make my life easier with discovery requests or you're right, template form motions. Life 1,000 times a year. So I welcome it. I embrace it. So it'll be interesting to see over the next couple of years what this turns into.
100%.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out also on LinkedIn and Twitter to keep up to speed with what we're doing. Catch you on the next one.